I still don't understand what the point of Nancy Pelosi's visit. Have you been able to get any better insights into it after a few days of her barnstormers? She flew in there and flew out right before all the ugly stuff started to really set in over there.
Yeah, so I think, Victor Davis Hanson had a good piece on American greatness today that's worth reading as we all try to figure out exactly what Nancy Pelosi was doing or what was in her mind. And he talks about Pelosi's childlike diplomacy as being a kind of mirror of America's childlike posture towards China. In other words, we're all acting like children with respect to China. And, China, I think, has a very thoughtful, very rational, reasonable foreign policy. It has a long-range goal, a long-range strategic plan on where it wants to be at certain points going forward. And America just seems to be acting out of, ad hoc. They're sort of making it up as they go along. And it's really a sort of childish diplomacy and childish posture towards China. I think Victor Davis Hanson's right on the mark with that.
Yeah, it does seem to be in keeping with the infantilization that is happening in America, all about my truth and my lived truth and all these things. I think a lot of that comes ultimately from a rejection of the gospel being fully understood and imitated in our communities. As a pastor, do you see that do you see the rejection of the gospel as the symptom, as the source of this kind of infantilization that we see?
I think so. I think on the Western and the American side, there's no question about that. I would even say that much of evangelicalism, as compared, for instance, to Eastern Orthodoxy or Roman Catholicism, at least Roman Catholicism in its most serious form, seems to have the same sort of childlike behavior as it interacts with historical events and with things like foreign policy and geopolitics, and so I think one of the things is that the subject of political theology, as it's historically been thought of, we especially on the Protestant side, has not had a very serious development of political theology, or if it is, it's always been on the margins. It's a very evangelicalism is by and large a very emotional type of childish, if you will, as Victor Davis Hanson was saying about diplomacy, childless approach to these serious events, and seriousness is really necessary in these times. Having a serious theology that considers political things with a certain type of soberness and thoughtfulness.